Hi, welcome to the series on testing app locally on Minikube. If you remember, we have developed the user wishlist app, which consists of three microservices: the Nginx UWSGI Flask server, database server, and Redis server, each in separate individual containers. Further, we have also developed this multi-container application on an Elastic Beanstalk instance. It could be regarded as a small, decent multi-container application deployed on AWS Elastic Beanstalk. Now, let us consider a scenario. Suppose the number of users have increased to our application. With the rise of number of users for our app, we want to scale the number of instances accordingly. When the load is high, then Elastic Beanstalk also takes care of scaling of EC2 instances. Let us see where they are configured for an application on Elastic Beanstalk. Go to AWS and go to Elastic Beanstalk. I have created a sample application on Elastic Beanstalk. Click on that. Now go to configuration. So here under capacity, we can see various parameters related to the application. For example, it is enabled with auto scaling with maximum of 4 instances and minimum of 1 instance depending upon the load, and the scale down increment is -1, that is every time there is a lower need for the instances, the number of instances will be decreased by 1, but it is guaranteed that minimum 1 instance is always running, and scale up increment is 1. Scaling Elastic Beanstalk instances means uniformly increasing the number of containers of our application. For example, in our multi-container wishlist app scenario, an Elastic Beanstalk consists of 3 containers: the Nginx Flask container, Redis server container, and Postgres server container. Upon scaling the number of instances, say to 4, each of the instance consists of 3 containers. However, we may not always want this to happen. There may be a very huge demand for the Flask container, followed by the Redis container, and comparatively lesser demand for the database container. Thus, we need to scale accordingly instead of scaling all the containers uniformly for higher performance, effective resource usage, and to reduce costs. So these problems are addressed by Kubernetes. Kubernetes is also known as K8s. It is a container orchestration tool. It is known to manage remote Linux servers on cloud platforms. It is developed by Google and later donated to Cloud Native Computing Foundation. The original definition of Kubernetes is an open source system for automating deployment, scaling, and management of containerized applications. A Kubernetes cluster consists of multiple nodes, which might be either physical machines or virtual machines. And some of these nodes are regarded as the master nodes and the rest as the worker nodes. The job of the master is to manage the workers, and the job of the workers is to listen to the instructions of the master and run the actual microservices they are supposed to run. And for this reason, worker nodes are also sometimes called as slaves. For example, we could ask the master node, "Hey master node, I want to run minimum 2 and maximum 10 containers which run Redis, 5 containers which run Nginx Flask app, and minimum 2 containers which run PostgreSQL." Now it's up to the master to make sure that the specified number of containers are always up and running. The master node deploys those containers onto the worker nodes, makes those slaves execute those microservices, and many more to make sure that the specified number of containers are always up, performant, and running. So the combined goal of the masters and the workers is to make sure that the applications are always live, performant, and highly available according to the user demands. As discussed previously, a Kubernetes cluster consists of multiple nodes, which might be either physical or virtual machines. And some of these nodes are regarded as master nodes and the rest as worker nodes. Worker nodes and masters form a Kubernetes cluster, and a master controls what each worker node does. We interact with master to handle the Kubernetes cluster with the help of command line utility called kubectl. So through kubectl, we can mention to the master that we want to run n number of containers for a particular image. Now, when not to use Kubernetes? We do not use Kubernetes when we are running same container across every machine, because Kubernetes might not be a right choice when we are using homogeneous containers across machines.